20 years 20 years ago, a seed was planted and cared for. We painstakingly nurtured it and weathered it against adversity until one day it blossomed and the fruits of our labor began to show. Today, millions have learned, shared, and been inspired by what our community has produced. We proudly served 21 million users from 204 countries in 2019. For our 85,000 technical articles, code samples, and videos, our 450,000 forum questions, and our highly anticipated conferences and events featuring keynote panels, live streams, and industry experts and influencers, we recognize and reward members for their dedication to the community. Through content contributions and mentorships, we ranked number 2,620 in the world with a reach of millions across our social media channels. Thanks to you, our global community of software and data developers grows stronger each day. For more information, visit us at CSharpCorner.com.
Hello and good morning to the Growth Mindset Show, another episode of Growth Mindset Show. Welcome to the show. My name is Mahesh Chan. I'm founder of CSharpCorner and the host of this Growth Mindset Show. Today, as we know, it's a Friday, 12 noon around in Eastern time here. I'm outside of Philadelphia. Nice weather, sunny weather. You already know, if you are joining us back, ask your questions, chime in. If you agree, disagree, let me know what you think of the show. We have several updates today, a couple of news. Let me start with saying that we have sad news that our producer, Simon, his father passed away a couple of days ago. And he's back to work. This guy is crazy. He's back to work, trying to keep busy. Hopefully, everything goes well with his family. We pray for his family, and everybody, hopefully, he's strong. He'll get over it and come up with the strong. He had a heart attack. Unfortunately, these things happen. We have no control over it. Everybody, welcome to the show again. I see a couple of people joining in. Have your questions keep coming. Just say hi. So today, this is going to be our last show in the Growth Mindset series, because we are going to have come up with a different series in 4 weeks. So we're going to take 4 weeks off. So there's no show for next 4 weeks. What we will do is we are coming up with a better, different series. It will be all around Web 3.0. So if you are not sure what Web 3 is, Web 3 is it's a new, they're calling it new generation of web technologies. I have been working with Web 3.0 for a while now. It includes blockchain, metaverse, so many other things. So if you're not familiar with Web 3.0, there's an article I wrote on CSharpCorner, what is Web 3, go search that. But we will, after this, when we come back in 4 weeks, we will start new shows on Web 3 and different topics. Each week there'll be a different topic, different guests. That's where we will start with. So that's one thing I want to get your attention to. Today we are going to a little bit talk about developer success. The last episode of this growth mindset, we will talk about the success in how software developers really think and what they should be doing. And if you agree, disagree, you just chime in and share with me what do you think. So that's one thing we'll talk today. But before we talk that topic, let's cover this C# annual conference is something we are working on right now. So yes, CSharpCorner annual conference is coming to India again, this in person. It's going to be bigger and better this year. So if you look at the website, you can go to conference.csharpcorner.com. That's the URL. Um, we are going to have this in 5 different cities. You can see from you can see it's in Chennai, starting with Chennai, going to Hyderabad, going to Mumbai, Jaipur, and then we are going to end in Delhi. Delhi is going to be few days, I think 3 days, 14, 15, 16th. Agenda is yet to be announced. We already have some awesome speakers um, already announced, at least 10 of them. 5 of them are traveling from the US and Europe. Maybe scroll down a little bit. Yeah, Magnus is coming, Joe is coming, David is coming, Alan's coming. I'll be there. Shell will be there, and we have Lalit and Praveen from local team there in India. Yeah, but it looks like it's going to be a big, awesome event, conference. This time, our goal is to make it the biggest one. Also, what we will do is actually you're gonna meet CSharpCorner team there. Everybody from CSharpCorner team will be there on different days, different places. Um, I think call for a speaker starts today, and today or tomorrow call for a speaker starts. So if anybody who's a good speaker, MVP, you want to speak, you can go and apply. Obviously, it's going to be a big challenge because so many people apply. So yeah, call for a speaker start. So stay tuned for more updates on that. Um, with in India also, we are going to have not, I mean, while we are doing this conference in India, in New Delhi, we are also going to have another big conference side by side with this on Web3 technologies and web blockchain, Web3. So if you're interested in learning some blockchain, Web3, stay tuned for those announcements as well. And we are working on some awesome list of speakers and agenda on that. So yeah, it's going to be fun. This October is going to be a busy month for us. Um, and also with that said, let's today. Hopefully, you got this message that we have October conference coming up. I will be in India traveling during that time. I don't know which cities I will be making. It's still early, but I'll be there. And Shal will be there, and few bunch of us will be there. So today, our today's topic in next 12 15 minutes, I want to talk about the success of software developers. So when you are a software developer, how do you know what is, are you successful or not? Or what you also, I want you to also share with me, when in your terms, what does the success mean to you, being a software developer? I'm not talking about in general. I'm just focusing on software developers. So if you're writing a code, or you are part of software development team, you are leading a team, or you are a project manager, what is success mean to you? Feel free to share your comments, and I will take those comments. And so I have been, doing this whole software development for what, I don't know, man, so many years. I started in '97, so it makes it like 25 years. Like anybody else, I started from college, joined a company as an intern, became a junior developer, senior developer. Then I came to US. In a few years, I started my own company. I work as a consultant in many companies. Then when you're a consultant, you do everything. You sometimes you do coding, sometimes you do requirements, sometimes you do business meetings, meet the business leaders, you architect products, you design, you sit down with the team, you do pretty much everything. You involved in testing. You even I wrote test cases for projects, right? I wrote test plans. So it's pretty much thing with being a consultant is that whatever client asks you to do, you just do it. um, and you're hard, sometimes you're hard to do things different, but you end up doing different things. That's how it is. So if you ask me what a successful software developer is, well, first thing I would start with is the growth. When you are working in a company, it doesn't matter how many years you've been working. Doesn't matter if you are a junior developer, you are a senior developer, you are an architect. The first thing I consider is that, are you growing? Are you growing in your current company, at your current project, in your current team? if you're growing, you have grown, like if you compare yourself from past 1 year to this year now, did you learn something new? Did you grow? Not only from the financial perspective, financial is totally different, right? That's totally different. But do you feel that you are more knowledgeable, you know more technologies, you can do more things compared to last year? Is that one thing I would consider as a being a part of the, successful? Okay, yeah, David just posted a comment that yes, David will be at the conference. Yeah, conferences, a bunch of cities, right? So we're gonna have 5 cities. David, I think David, your ticket is not booked yet. So yeah, we gotta book your ticket, get that list done out of the way. If you feel want to chime in, come in the last show. This is last show of my growth mindset. If you want to come in behind the scene, join me. Just let Simon know. We can talk, and I think you can definitely help in there. We are talking about the what the success means to software developers. So yeah, if you want to chime in, I'm still going through the COVID behind, after effects. I'm still not 100%. I feel like my head sometimes I get a little bit headache. Sometimes I'm like weak. I don't have energy sometimes. So it's like COVID. Even though I've been negative for I think what 3, 4, 5 days now, but I had COVID for many days, 10 plus days. So I think I'm still going through the after effect. Now, Dia, my daughter, she's 4. She has COVID. I think she's negative today finally. So everybody's going to get in the house, looks like, again. So yeah, we're still going through that COVID. So if you think COVID is still, still there, especially in LA and California, it's like there's a lot. I was hiding it for a while. So all right, what do you guys think of success to you? What does success mean to you? Everybody who's watching it, what does success mean to you at your work? I'm not talking about the success mean to me is like, being rich, but at your work, like in a micro success level, being a software developer, what does success mean to you? Uh, I want to, hear from you. So first point I talk about was the growth. And that's what growth mindset is all about. Is are you growing at your current work? And growing doesn't mean that you're getting taller or stretching, right? Like, okay, did you learn something new? In simple terms, if you were working with .NET 4.5 last year, are you still working on .NET 4.5? If you were fixing bugs last year, are you still fixing bugs in the same project this year? To me, that's not growth. So you kind of like stuck there in one spot, and that's not growth, and that's not good for career. At least you should be learning new. So if you were working on .NET 4.5 last year or 6, this should be you should at least learning .NET Core. .NET 6 is already there. 7 is coming in November, I think, again. So are you learning and growing from one area to other area, or you learn something new? You are a .NET developer, you learn Angular or React or something different. Have you done that? That's my first criteria. That's one. Okay, you following me? So number two, my criteria is when you are growing, even though you are a software developer, and a lot of software developers, they just write code and sit in their silos, and all they do is write code, and they're happy about it. That's great. That's awesome. But um, if you ask me, you need to be more than the coder, okay? Because end of the day, you need to think about what else can I do? How can I help? It could be talking to the stakeholders, talking to the um, people who are running the company and understand how to make the product better, the business better, um, and even improve the performance and optimize different things. And are you getting involved in outside of just the coding? That's part two of number two. When I think of a success as a software developer, are you doing more than just writing code? And I'm not saying that some people say, you know what, I don't care about this company because, I'm not happy here. I don't like my manager. So I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to help. Well, it's a mindset. So if you are even helping your current company, regardless if you're happy there or not, you're building this habit of doing more, learning more, going outside of your comfort zone. That's how I see it as a success. That means overall, as a person, you are growing. You're growing, learning communications. You are meeting with business owners. You are speaking. You are talking. You are leading. This is making you a leader. That's the difference between a leader and a not leader. What's the difference? Leaders lead, and not only leaders. Um, not only leaders deliver what they're supposed to deliver, not only leaders build better software products, but they also make not everybody, at least some people around you better. That's the definition of leader, if you ask me. Leader is not somebody who say, "Oh, I'm a CEO of this company." If it's a CEO of this company and his employees are not growing or getting better, I don't consider them as a leader. They're just a boss. Okay, that's a big difference for me being a boss versus leader. Regardless of what position you are at, regardless of what how much experience you have, regardless of what company you work for, if you are making people around you better in different ways, you are a leader. That's the simple definition in my dictionary. So if when I say, okay, are you growing in your company? Are you successful? Number one, are you growing from the perspective, are you learning something new? Number two, not only you're learning something new technically, but are you also doing things outside of your comfort zone, right? Are you turning into a leader? And why I always want people to be a leader, because end of the day, you can be writing your code your whole life, that's great, but at some point you're going to realize that it's not enough. I know a lot of people, they are like, David and so many others, they write code, they love writing code, and they are, been writing for so many years. But at some point, you're going to realize, and that usually comes after 45 years old. When you're 40, 45 years old, you start thinking about self-actualization. That like, what have you achieved in your life besides money and salary and what you have? So, and if you haven't done something like helping others and being a leader and all that, then you start feeling like there's emptiness. And that's why it's important for long run to be happy and sustain your success and growth is you doing all those things, right? And especially young guys, if young developers and they're watching this show, you can be a like great coder, but to grow and even in your within your company, you need to have more than just coding skills. A lot of people I see, they are like 45, 60, 50 years old, and they are writing code. They're tech lead, but they're like, hey, I don't grow in my company. I'm still tech lead because their communication skills suck, right? They don't have good leadership skills. They don't have good um, personal skills. Like they are not personable. They're good in coding, but if you are trying to become a executive in your company or C level and want to lead or even start your own company, you need all those skills. Those are important skills to have. So that's point number two. Are you adding more skills to your skills, current skills? That's how I see if you're being successful or not. Do you guys agree, disagree with me? Um, Also, what's your feedback on Growth Mindset show since this is the last show? Did you learn anything from it? If yes, what did you learn? What was your best memories from this show? You have any memories like, oh, yeah, I learned this thing from this show? Or it's just a total waste? Like we've been doing this show for like what, a year and a half, so long. Was it total waste? Did you learn anything, or you think this helped you somehow in your professional and personal life? I want to hear from you. Yeah, and if you want to come behind the scene, today's the last show. We have 10 more minutes. Just to let Simon know, post a comment. You can come behind the scene too. You're getting a chance to come behind the scene. All right. So those are the two key criterias, and then I think the third biggest criteria for me is that um, besides obviously being a leader and also learning something new, is third thing is, are you giving back? And I'm not saying everybody should give back right away. If you're a young developer, you're learning a lot right now. Yeah, you should be learning a lot. You should be consuming a lot. You should be doing a lot of things. But if you have been doing, say, programming for 5 years, 6 years, are you giving back to the community in different ways? Because in this world, most people are takers. A majority people are takers. Like they will just take, 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 take. Okay? Ask yourself, do you just take or you also give back? You take all the stuff free from people like knowledge, you download ebooks or you go to somebody online training, you watch it. Do you ever think that I am help this guy, somebody's video is helping me learn programming? What am I doing? Am I helping others? Am I giving back, or are you saying thank you to that person? You go to, I don't know, some online website or YouTube. You go to YouTube, you watch a video, you learn some new programming from that. You search Google, you find a CSharpCorner article, you got code, copy code, and it helps you. If it's a bad code or bad article, you write a bad comment on it, complain about it. But do you ever write good comments on it? Do you ever say thank you to people who are helping you in your career? Did you ever donate to somebody help, or did you ever give back to the community? Ask yourself. Imagine that nobody's giving back to the community, there will be no communities left. Communities will die because there's nobody's giving back. C Sharp Corner is surviving because there's always some people giving back. People like David, people like, you can see a lot of our authors. They're giving back. There's some authors, they've been writing for, 20 years. I've been writing since, started the community. Obviously, it's my personal community and my personal interest, but there's people, they've been writing for years and years. They have millions of views, millions of people read their articles and learn from that. And are you one of them who just go and read and just forget about it and assume that, oh, they were supposed to give me this free, and don't say thank you? And when you find something bad, you just complain about it. So think about that. Like, this is, imagine a world when everybody just consuming information and nobody's giving back. We will disappear. And let me tell you one more thing. India was the first country, and even our back in the days before this world even knew the education and writing and scripts, that we always educating. If you look at our history, back in the days, tens of thousands of years ago, we used to have these rishis, we used to have these gurus, we used to have these pundits, and all their goals were helping people to learn and educate. They were not getting paid for it. They never get paid for it. They get respect for it, but their whole life was dedicated to educating people, helping people, and building these communities, supporting these communities. That's what they were doing. So it's in our culture, it's in the blood, that giving back, educating people. If you have more knowledge than others, you are helping them. And but we are in today's world, we have changed. All we focus on ourselves, like, oh, give me more, what, give me more. If you don't get more, or you're not happy what you're getting for free, you complain. I see so many people complain about it, and they feel like that, oh, we should be like, everybody should be helping them. This is called entitlement. That's also next generation. This young generation feel entitled. They're like, oh, we were supposed to get this free. So think about that. What are you contributing to this world? What is your contribution to this world besides you and yourself and your family? Gita says one big thing. Gita, not only just Gita, all these our rishis, and they all say one thing, right? The difference between human and animal. And I'm saying, Human is the only living thing on this planet that can think more than about themselves. That's it, because our brain is so much developed. We can not only think about ourselves, saving ourselves, surviving ourselves, but we can also think, oh, can we do this? Can we do this? Can we innovate? Human is the only one. If you look at any bird, any animal, any other living things, they don't know anything. All they know is survive themselves. They focus on their food, they focus on their survival, they focus on building their nest. That's all they do, because they are not capable of that. Only human is. And if every human is just focusing on themselves, we will we will destroy these communities, and this free knowledge will disappear from the world. And why it's important to have free knowledge is because not everybody in this world can afford to pay for the education, for the knowledge, for the learning. Okay, more poor you go, like more poor countries you go to, less resource they have, less money they have, less access they have. So to help a lot of people, we have to have these, cultural, or call it practices, where there's a free education. And I personally believe that free education and free healthcare and free food, water, and basic needs are right of every human being. Or, that should be the basic. In today's world we are living, we have so much wealth in the world. If everybody start giving a little bit back, we will be better world. And I'm not saying today that you go and start giving your salary. No, if you can't, but what you can do is you can help one child or somebody who's in need. At least that's all you can do. Imagine if all of us, millions of people, help one or two, out of sudden we are helping millions, and then that becomes a big thing. That's really the whole thing is behind these communities, making it big, that big, and making the impact so big that it changes the world, right? That's really where we are. So that's something I want to talk to other than the last show of this growth mindset. And then maybe I'll take, what do you guys think? I can keep saying that. Yeah, just you gotta keep posting those comments. What do you agreeing, disagreeing with me? Um, but again, education, and we all know that. And I have these lot of posters. I have posters here with Nelson Mandela, and says education is the one thing, and maybe probably the only one thing that can change the world forever, right? Money, sure, you can give people money. That's not going to change anything, because if you have a poor person, you give money, they'll take money. Few days maybe they will eat from that, they will spend on that. But what about that after that? But education, if you give one person education, you're changing that lives forever in generations, right? Because now educated, they can get a job, they'll have kids, they'll have this changes the whole thing. So that's why education is probably the best thing you can give in this world. And same thing, you back to our whole Sanatan Dharam and whole this Hinduism and all. They're saying there's three kinds of giving, and one of them is education. Education is the best thing you can do, and that's the most valuable thing we can give, is help others by educating them or guiding them to the education. So with that said, if nobody has questions, and nobody wants to come in behind the scene. Okay, there you go. Hey, David, how are you?
Hey, I thought
You're
you were
back.
forgetting about me.
Oh, I wasn't. I think Simon was. I didn't know you're there, because I'm from my phone, so I can see comments.
Oh, you're on your phone?
Yeah, This is from my phone. Yeah, phone has a better quality camera. Okay, it's iPhone.
Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah,
weird, huh?
yeah,
So
because computer. Yeah. So what's going on? How are you?
I'm doing okay. At least I didn't get COVID from you.
Hey, I was afraid. I was like, shit, man, I don't want to give other people COVID.
Yeah.
But I think the kid with me, big kid, he got COVID, and Dia, my daughter,
Oh,
she
the
got
big one
COVID.
did? Oh, your
Yeah,
daughter
big
got
one
COVID?
did.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So I think.
Yeah, they just raised the COVID alert in San Diego, and now they haven't made it mandatory, but they're recommending to wear masks indoors now.
Yeah,
And I know Los Angeles County is doing worse. As far as
yeah.
COVID goes, they're probably going to do a mandatory one pretty soon, I think. But
Okay.
I've, I've I have a couple comments, but I'd like to ask a question. Because I missed the beginning of the show. Why is this the last show?
Well, we gonna. It's not the last show. We are switching the topic. We are going. Next series will be Web3.
Oh,
So yeah, the growth mindset is good, but it's just people needs to they. I mean, this is a topic where it's not for everybody, right?
yeah.
So I'm switching my show to Web3 now, Web3 technologies, and it's big because I'm working a lot on Web3, which include blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and all that. So this is a new innovation happening,
Hmm.
metaverse, and all good things. So I'm going to switch to that.
Well, a
Maybe
show
we'll
like
bring,
this,
yeah.
I think a show like this is still valuable. You've been getting some really good comments I've been reading, and you know, even though this show might not be as popular as others, I think it's still a good topic to discuss. Than
Okay,
than
you're trying to get me back into this.
well, I mean, somebody, right? Because I think
Yeah.
these are interesting topics that people don't talk about, right? We mostly just talk about code and stuff like that, but we really don't talk about growing and being better, in our careers and in our lives. I mean, because you talk not only about careers but life too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think there's a place for this. Maybe we just need to get the word out better or something like that. Um, my
Yeah, we will think about it. So next few weeks, I'm going to be super busy and traveling. So that's why I maybe we'll come back again on different time. So you're
Yeah,
right. Maybe we can think on more. Okay. All
yeah,
right. I
yeah,
won't I won't shut down totally the idea. No,
yeah.
I love it because I love
Yeah, I
it. It's just
wouldn't.
sometimes,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, great. All right.
So
Maybe we'll continue this.
maybe, and I
Yeah,
can help out
maybe.
every once in a while too. I could host a show if you wanted me to.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good because sometimes it's important when you're two people because you know how it is. You're gonna travel and sometimes feels like I don't think I can do every week. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I was even,
Yeah.
right now I'm in the works in getting a developer on my show, and we're going to talk about mental health. Which is
Okay.
not really the theme of my show, but I think talking about that is really important, and so I'm trying to get him on my show in a couple weeks, and so there's especially with, well, I can't say with just developers, but for example, mental health is something we don't like to talk about, because we don't want to publicize when we might be struggling with something, but we all struggle with something at some point. And
Yeah.
I think talking about it is the best way to overcome things like that, right? So
No, that's awesome. That's a great topic.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I have two comments on what I heard before you had me on the show, and that is the first one is everybody expecting stuff for free.
Yeah.
This is something that I talk with my developers, I mean, with my friends a lot, and it's something that frustrates me a lot. The people not only expecting everything for free, right? But then what you were talking about is not like acknowledging the person who gave it to you for free for all the work they did, right?
Yeah.
I saw a tweet yesterday, which is exactly what I think, that, when you go see one of us, talk at a conference, right? There's a minimum, I would say, and for me, this is definitely the number, but there's a minimum of about 40 hours we spend, right? That's entire work week coming up with that presentation, right?
Yep.
And then all the
100%.
time, we take to get to the conference and do all the stuff there. I mean, it's a lot of time we take out of our day, and especially those of us who work on contracting. When we go speak at a conference, we're losing money every minute we're speaking, right? Because we're
Yep.
not working. And
Yeah.
so something that I've been wanting to maybe write about or maybe include in one of my articles is that, whenever you are at a free event or whatever you read somebody's blog or articles like on CSharpCorner, you need to realize we all did that for nothing, right? None of us get paid for doing that. None of us get paid for doing these shows, right? And most of us never get paid for presenting conference sessions, right?
Yep.
I've been paid less than a handful of times in 28 years. And
Yeah.
to me, that's terrible, right?
Yeah.
So when you are out there, geeks, and you read an article that you like, or you learn something from, or you go to a free conference or any conference session, make sure you spend a couple minutes to just go thank the person who did it, right? Because
Yes.
in my case, at least, that doesn't happen enough, right?
Yes.
And those kind of comments is what keeps us going, right? So if I get one good comment every 3 months, then I can keep going, because that's my expectation, because I don't get a lot of positive feedback for things, right? And so
Yes.
yeah, so geeks, make sure you thank the person who spent all those hours writing or coming up with the presentation, or writing their open source software for free, right? Go be a GitHub sponsor, right? Sponsor my website, right? Because you can now subscribe to my website, and that's just to get a little bit of money for all the hard work, that I put in for writing articles and things like that, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's something that I know we forget, and I know we live in a fast-paced world, and but just try to take a couple minutes out of your day and thank somebody today for all the hard work that they've done to help you in your career, right?
Yep.
Because that's
Yep.
why we do it,
100%.
right? We do this to help people in their careers, right? That's the
Yep.
end goal, right?
Yeah.
The
100%.
The other thing you talked about, and I know we're going over the 30 minutes, is satisfaction in your career, right?
Self-actualization. Yep.
Yeah, and that's something really important to not only do, uh, but for me, that has changed over the years, right? So I can say that, I initially got into software engineering because I needed to support a family, right? I was the sole income earner in a 4-person family. And in the beginning, that's why I did it. There's other reasons too, but I would say the majority of the reason when I started was so I could support my family. And that's why I did it. But those kind of things change over time, and for me, getting more experience and delivering more solutions, where I am at this point, and it's been this way for a very long time, because my kids are older now. I don't need to worry about that stuff, and but to me, the way I get job satisfaction is if the users love whatever I'm writing, whatever
Yeah.
software I deliver, right? To me, I work for the user, right? And because I'm trying to make, an article just came out today on CSharpCorner where I discuss this in detail, is, my job as a software engineer is to make somebody else's workflow better, right? In their job, or what they're doing at home, or whatever I'm writing, right? I'm trying to improve the experience of the user, right? And so when I see users use applications and love it, and I see their eyes light up, right? That to me is the best thing in the world, right? Because
Yeah.
I mean, delivering quality software, which my article is all about, is tough to do these days, right?
Yeah.
But when you do, and you get, I was just remembering one of my most successful projects that, ended up, me becoming a patent inventor, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I went to the first couple installations of the software, and when I saw the users' eyes light up, I was just in heaven, right? And then when I called back to the users and asked them if they had any issues with the program, and I got no no negative responses, right?
Yeah.
That to me is success. To me, in my book, is success.
Yep.
For me as a software engineer, that's success to me.
100%. No, that's a good point. Both are good point, great points. And again, it's it's just thinking about, because we grow up in this environment when we have been getting everything for free, so we
Mm-hmm.
assume automatically that we were supposed to get this free. And a lot
Right.
of people don't realize, especially the young generation, they have not gone through. So they don't even think about, rather than complaining, they don't think about that somebody spent hours and hours and hours on that to help you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's not like they're getting paid for it, as you said. But at least if you can't even say thank you, that's great. But at least don't complain about it. Number, if you can say thank you, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But that's one way. And see if what you ask yourself. That's what my question is. Ask yourself, what is the last thing and when is the last thing you did that was not for you and your family or your friends? That's how you know that if you have ever helped any community or not.
Yeah. And
That's the test to self test.
and when you said something about the younger developers, it kind of jolted me back to my beginner days. And so, when you and I began software engineering, right? The internet wasn't a big thing, right? There
No,
weren't
there was no
there,
internet.
there was little internet. There was
Yeah.
hardly any websites out there with any information, right? And
Yep.
the only information we were able to get really was from either the manuals that came with the software, books that we purchased, right? Or going to
Yep.
conferences, which all cost money, right?
Yes.
But in 2022, all those things are free now,
Yes.
right? I mean, not all of them, but it's a big
Almost.
majority of those things are free now. You don't have to pay for that kind of content anymore. But there's still the same amount of work going into it behind the scenes that you're getting for free, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So with that said, guys, folks, I think we may bring this show back after several weeks, as David kind of convinced me. Maybe we'll continue these. Manish, definitely great comments. Thank you for your comment. I'm glad you learned something from this. But David, you missed that. I don't know if you know that, but Simon's father passed away a couple of days away. So we
Oh
hope,
man,
pray for him. He's still strong, helping the show behind the scene.
I'm sorry,
We'll,
Simon. I hope you and your family get through this difficult period, because I lost my mother in 2016, and so I know how it feels, and it's a tough feeling. My mother's birthday was actually yesterday, and
wow.
yeah. So yesterday was kind of sad for me. Her birthdays and the day she died will always be a sad day for me. So I'm sorry, Simon. And if you need anything, just reach out to me.
Yep, agree. Yeah, anything.
Yeah.
So with that said, and I'll see you. You have your show tomorrow or no? Not this week.
Not this week. We're taking the weekend
Not
off.
this week.
We'll be back next
Okay.
week. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, next week we will be in David's show. I'm taking off 4 weeks. We're gonna reset something, planning. We're planning the conference big time. That's kind of need a lot of more my time and attention. And we're launching a lot of new things. It just kind of I'm going to be really busy.
When are you coming back to San Diego?
I'm coming back August end or first week of September.
Don't bring COVID this time.
No, I got it there. It's all LA is all filled with COVID. I never had COVID in Pennsylvania because it's beautiful trees and nobody's around me.
I bet you got it on the airplane.
Probably.
Or in the airport. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Even my building where I was staying, a lot of people already had COVID. They're like food swatching. So it looks like there's so much in the city. So you never know. Yeah.
Well, it's getting worse here, so.
I already got it. Hopefully, I don't get it again.
Yeah, hope not.
So, all right, but thanks for coming on the show, David, in short notice. Simon, thank you so much behind the scene. Appreciate it. Everybody, thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you in 4 weeks.
See you, everybody.